Hey guys, this is Red. This is my mono black commander deck with Drana, Kalastria Bloodchief as commander. She's a 2 black and 3, 4/4 flying vampire. Pay 2 black and X. Target creature gets -0, -X till end of turn, and Drana gets +X, +0 till end of turn. Does not tap to do the ability, so it can be activated multiple times per turn, killing multiple creatures, possibly swinging in and killing your opponent in one shot. Land base is really simple, 31 swamps. I'm also running a Mystifying Maze. 4 and tap it. Exile an attacking creature an opponent controls till end of turn. Bring it back into play tapped. A Cabal Coffer. 2 colorless and tap it. Add a black mana for each swamp you control. A Cabal Stronghold. Taps for a colorless. Pay 3 and tap it. And get 1 black for each basic swamp you control. And we have a lot of swamps, so both really good utility lands. Now for my removal package, I have Ashes to Ashes. For 2 black and 1 colorless, remove 2 non-artifact creatures from the game, and it deals 5 damage to you. A Black Sun Zenith. 2 black and X. Put X -1/-1 counters on every creature, and shuffle it back into your library. A Mutilate. For 2 black and 2. All creatures get -1/-1 till end of turn for each swamp you control. And Infest, 2 black and 1 sorcery. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. A Nettlevine Blight, 2 black and 4. Enchant land or creature. Enchanted permanent has at the end of your turn, sacrifice this permanent and attach Nettlevine Blight to a creature or land you control. Disembowel. 1 black and X. Destroy target creature with converted mana cost X or less. Is an instant. Battle at the Bridge. 1 black and X with... Sorry about that. With Improvise. Target creature gets -X till end of turn, and you gain X life. We don't have many artifacts for the Improvise, but we have a few. Devour in Shadow. 2 black, instant, destroy target creature, cannot be regenerated, and you lose life equal to its toughness. A Guild. 1 black and 3. Exile target creature. You get a artifact token that you can sacrifice for 1 mana of any color. A Slaughter Pact. Destroy target non-black creature. Can be cast for 0. At the beginning of your upkeep, pay 1 black and 2 or you lose the game. A Go for the Throat. 2 mana, instant, destroy target non-artifact creature. Eye Blight's Ending. 3 mana, instant, destroy target non-elf. Rend Spirit. 3 mana, instant, destroy target non-spirit. Quag Sickness. 3 mana, enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets -1/-1 for each swamp you control. Dismember. 2 black and 1. Two Phyrexian black and 1. -5/-5 till end of turn. Death Pulse. 4 mana. Target creature gets -4/-4, or it cycles for 3. And when you cycle it, you can have a creature get -1/-1. Good for killing off those little pesky mana dorks and other utility 1 toughness creatures that cause problems. A few artifacts here for buffing and some more utility. Loxodon Warhammer, 3 to play, 3 to equip, +3/+0, trample and lifelink. Strata Scythe, 3 to play, 3 to equip, has imprint. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a land, exile it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land of the same name that's in play, not just yours if your opponent's playing black as well. A Lash Wrath, 4 mana, living weapon, so you get a 0/0 token that it's automatically equipped to. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each swamp you control, and it equips for 2 Phyrexian black mana. A Nightmare Lash, which is almost the same. 4 to play. Equipped is pay 3 life, and equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each swamp you control. A little bit of library manipulation from your opponent's side. 3 black, search for 3 cards and exile them, and you can kick it for 7 more to search for 15 cards and exile them. Good for getting rid of certain combo pieces that you know people are playing with. A little bit of graveyard recursion with Beacon of Unrest. For 5 mana, put an artifact or creature from any graveyard into play under our control and shuffle Beacon of Unrest back into our deck. A Grim Return, 3 mana instant. Put a creature card from a graveyard into play that died this turn. A Corpse Dance, 3 mana. Put the top creature card of your graveyard into play. It gains haste at the end of turn, exile it, and it has a buyback of 2. So for 5 mana, when you play it, you put the Corpse Dance back in your hand instead of the graveyard. I have 1 Consuming Spirit just for a little X damage and life gain. An Altar of Shadows as part of my removal and ramp. 7 mana artifact. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add 1 black to your mana pool for every charge counter on it. Pay 7 and tap it. Destroy any creature and put a charge counter on it. Next we have a Sudden Spoilings, or Spoiling. Good to play defensively or offensively. 3 mana with Split Second. Instant. Creatures target player control become 0/2s with no abilities. So you can use it on your attack whenever they block and try to kill stuff off. Or if you're playing against like elves and they drop a Crater Hoof trying to kill you, you play it after the Crater Hoof triggers and decimate their board. So it can easily be a one-sided board wipe. A few tutor cards with Diabolic Revelations. 2 black, 3 colorless, and X. Search for X cards and put them into your hand. Kind of expensive, so unless you're getting 3 or more cards, it's not really worth it mana-wise. But you have the iconic Demonic Tutor. 2 mana, search for any card, put it into your hand. You have the Vampiric Tutor. For 1 mana, instant, pay 2 life, search for any card. Shuffle your library, put that card on top. I have 1 Planeswalker, Sorin Markov, mostly for the -3 ability to put them at 10 life, but it can be used to gain a little bit of life while killing off some creatures, and if you ever do get to control their next turn, you could wind up putting them in a bad place. And I have a Phyrexian Arena for a little bit of card draw. That is all my non-creature spells. Now to get into my creatures with some utility creatures. I have Obnixilis, 3/3 for 5 with landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player lose 3 life. If you do, he gets 3 +1/+1 counters. So he can get really big really quick while killing an opponent. Next, I have a Blood Gift Demon. 5 mana for a 5/4 flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, target player draws a card and loses a life. I have a Rune Scarred Demon, a 6/6 for 7 flying. When he enters the battlefield, search for any card, put it into your hand. I have a Graveborn Muse, a 3/3 for 4. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose X life and draw X cards, where X is the number of zombies you control. Now, she herself is a zombie, so you'll always be doing 1 at least. I don't think there's any other zombies in the deck, but there's a few things that make zombies. So you could potentially be drawing 3 or 4, or maybe even 5. I have a Coffin Queen, 3 mana for a 1/1. You may choose not to untap her during your untap step. Pay a black and 2, tap her, put target creature from any graveyard into play under your control. Have a Doomed Necromancer, a 2/2 for 3. Pay a black, tap him, sacrifice him, return any creature from your graveyard to play. I have a Limdul the Necromancer, 4/4 for 7. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is put in the graveyard from play, you may pay a black and a colorless. If you do, return that card to play under your control. If it's a creature, it's a zombie in addition to its other types. So that's one way to get more zombies for our Muse. And for a black and a colorless, regenerate target zombie. I have a 6/5 for 6, who is also a zombie. Pay 3 black and tap him. Destroy target land. If that land was non-basic, untap him. So with enough mana, we could wipe out our entire opponent's non-basic land base. Have a Skithrix, the Blighted Dragon, or the Blight Dragon. 4/4 for 5, flying, infect. For 1 black, he gains haste. For 2 black, he regenerates. A couple of swings with him could potentially end the game. Have Machias the Unhallowed, a 5/5 for 6 with Intimidate. Whenever a human deals damage to you, destroy it. And other non-human creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Undying. And he is also a zombie that will activate our Muse. A Sangromancer, 3/3 for 4 with flying. Whenever a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield, you may gain 3 life. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you may gain 3 life. A Vampire Hexmage, 2/1 first strike for 2. Sacrifice Vampire Hexmage, remove all counters from target permanent. Good to kill off a Planeswalker. Or anything that gets stupid huge from counters. A 4/4 for 6. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add a black to your mana pool, and for 1 black, she gets +1/+1 until end of turn. A Magus of the Coffers, a 4/4 for 5. Pay 2 and tap him, get 1 black for each swamp you control. He's a Cabal Coffers on a body. Necrotic Ooze, 4/3 for 4. As long as Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all creatures in all graveyards. So there could be a lot of activated abilities that it could potentially have. A 3/3 for 6 with flying. Other black creatures get +1/+1, and non-black creatures get -1/-1. A Magus of the Mirror. A 4/2 for 6. Tap him, sacrifice him, exchange life totals with target opponent. Play this ability only during your upkeep. And Obnixilis Unshackled. 4/4 for 6. Flying and trample. Whenever an opponent searches his or her library, that player sacrifices a creature and loses 10 life. Whenever another creature dies, put a 1/1 counter on Obnixilis. I have Gonti, Lord of Luxury, a 2/3 for 4 with Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of those cards face down, and put the rest on the bottom in a random order. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may look at it, you may cast it, and you may spend mana as though it were any color to cast it, or any type to cast it. A Shieldred, a 6/6 for 7 with Swamp Walk. Beginning of your upkeep, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. Good for controlling board state. Kalatos, 5/5 for 7. Pay 3 and tap him. Destroy target creature. If that creature is put in the graveyard this way, put a black vampire token onto the battlefield with power and toughness equal to that creature's power and toughness. Viscera the Dreadful, a 5/5 for 6 with flying. Tap, destroy target creature. Can't be regenerated. An Avatar of Woe, a 6/5 for 8. If there are 10 or more creature cards in all graveyards, she costs 6 colorless less, so a 6/5 for 2. She has Fear, meaning she can't be blocked by anything that's not artifact or black, and she has tap, destroy target creature. It cannot be regenerated. A Massacre Worm, 6/5 for 6. When it enters the battlefield, creatures your opponents control get -2/-2 till end of turn. Whenever a creature an opponent controls is put into the battle or the graveyard from the battlefield, that player loses 2 life. A Royal Assassin, 1/1 for 3. Tap, destroy target tapped creature. A Reaver Demon, 6/6 for 8. Flying. When it comes into play, if you played it from your hand, destroy all non-black, non-artifact creatures. They can't be regenerated. A Gul'Draz Assassin, 1 mana for a 1/1. He levels up for 1 and a colorless, or for a black and a colorless. Can only be leveled up as a sorcery. Level 2 through 3, he's a 2/2. Tap a black and tap him. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And at level 4, he's a 4/4. With tap a black and tap him. Target creature gets -4/-4 till end of turn. Good for killing off stuff. An Archfiend of Depravity, a 5/4 for 5. Flying. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses 2 creatures he or she controls and sacrifices the rest. A Noxious Gearhulk, 5/4 for 6 with Menace. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy another creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. Grave Titan, a 6/6 for 6 with Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield or attacks, you get 2/2/2 zombie tokens. So there's a couple more zombies for your muse to draw some more cards with. A Nightmare, 6 mana for a star with flying. Has power and toughness equal to the number of swamps you control. A Nantuko Husk, a 2/1 for 2. For 1 black, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. And last but not least, Maga, Trader of the Mortals. For 3 black and X, he enters with X +1/+1 counters on him. When he comes into play, target player loses life equal to the number of 1/1 counters on him. With our utility lands and our Magus and all that, he could be very nasty with a lot of mana. Well, that wraps it up for the deck. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.